What's happening, guys? It's PK here from Fringe Sport, and I'm on our Raptor air bike right now. So you might say, there are a ton of air bikes out there. Why should I buy this one? And the reason that you should buy this one is because it is built like a tank, highly durable with belt drive and a full metal welded fan, but it also fits people of all different shapes and sizes, principally height. So we custom designed this bad boy so it goes super low for you petite athletes. It's nice for you perfectly sized men like me. And then if you're one of those uber tall freaks, it'll fit you as well. In addition to going up and down, the seat also very easily goes front to back. Just flip it up and then back and forth, and you can set it up wherever it's perfect for you. Plus, it's easy to move around. One of the things that we wanted to do is we designed the front wheels with my wife in mind. Now, you might imagine that as the founder of a fitness equipment company that specializes in garage gyms, that my garage gym is super packed. And you're right. My wife is always trying to get me to get this out of the way or that out of the way. And so when we designed this bike, we wanted to make it super easy for even her to move things around. So look at that. One hand moving this bad boy around. And those knobby tires are oversized. So if you're moving on or off stall mats, or even going off-road, wheeling it around through grass or even dirt, it's gonna wheel around awesomely. Now let's dive into why we designed this bike the way we did. First of all, I'm a real big biker. We're in Texas. I've ridden my bicycle from Houston to Austin in the MS-150 more than 10 times. I have 4 bikes hanging in my garage, and my wife has also told me no more new bikes. But she didn't know about air bikes. So when I designed this air bike, what I was looking to do was to bring that standard Fringe recipe of durability, versatility, great design, and to offer that all for a great price. So let's talk a little bit about the durability. We've got solid stainless tubing for the actual frame, as well as welded steel for that front fan. There are a lot of other bikes that use basically a bike wheel in the front. It's okay, it works, but it's really not the most durable. Now, the next thing is we use an actual belt to drive this. Again, I've got a ton of different bikes. I've got decades of bike experience. Chains stretch and wear out over time. Belts don't. So we designed this bike to be zero maintenance, or as close to it as possible for you. That belt is gonna outlast your athletic life, and it's gonna be sound as a pound the whole way through. Additionally, on durability, I talked about the tires. The tires are oversized, super highly durable, and everything about this bike is. Now, in terms of versatility, one of the things that we've run into with some of the other bikes on the market, and believe me, I've ridden on all the air bikes on the market, is that they work great if you're like me, the ideal masculine size. But if you're a petite athlete, like a woman or a teenager, or even just a pocket-sized man, it can be a little bit harder because some of the other durable bikes on the market or oversized, overbuilt bikes on the market just don't work well for that smaller body size. So we made the seat go extra low, and we worked on the geometry of the arms so that whether you're petite, perfect, or oversized, it works great. Additionally, as far as this height goes, I mean, this seat is almost up to my nipples, but if you're a super tall freak, it's gonna be great for you, might be just up to your crotch. So that's as far as versatility goes. Now let's talk about the actual functionality of the bike. So air bikes are amazing, amazing conditioning devices. I will tell you that my personal favorite conditioning device is a rower. But the problem with a rower is that if you're a relatively new athlete, or maybe you're training relatively new athletes, the motion of a rower takes some education. How many times have you seen somebody rowing on a rower and that chain is flapping all over the place, or even the rower is moving around on the ground because the athlete is not putting all of their effort into a smooth pull and recovery on the chain? I've seen it a lot. Even before I learned how to row, I was doing it a lot. But the great thing about an air bike is it takes so little education to get an experienced athlete or a very beginner athlete to use it and to have an effective training session on it. When I first designed this bike, my youngest daughter was 8 years old. And when I got the prototype in my garage, she obviously had some trouble moving the seat up and down because she's an 8-year-old. But once the seat was at an appropriate height for her, she just got on the bike and started going. There was no need to say, hey, you gotta work your pull in this way, you gotta move your hands that way, that sort of thing. She just knew it intuitively. And you don't even have to balance like on a normal bike. So if you don't know how to ride a normal bike, this bike will even work for you. Additionally, let's talk a little bit about that versatility. We designed it so that when you get on the bike and you start moving, the monitor starts right away. You don't have to worry about how on some other bikes you have to put in your mode or you have to tell it to start or something like that. And then we also put a timer into it so that it turns off and resets after a very short time off the bike. So if you're doing a workout or a WOD where you're trying to do 50 calories and then you go do something else, then you do another 50, something like that, you don't have to worry about wiping it all out of here. It's just gonna reset when you're off the bike and you're gonna be right back onto it. Now let's move into how I use this air bike in my training. And there are typically 3 ways that I personally use it. You can use it in different ways. Way number 1 is for active recovery in between a set. So sometimes I'll be doing a workout, I'll do some squats or something like that, and then I'll want some active recovery. So it's just easy to hop on the bike and just start moving. I'm not going for calories, not really even going for time. I'm just trying to keep my muscles moving while I'm in between sets. And you can see I'm talking to you while I'm doing it. It's no strain, it's easy. I can do it with just my legs, I can do it with legs and arms, I can put my legs up here and just do it with arms. So that's active recovery. That's the first way that I might use this in my training. Type 2 that I use it in my training is sprints. So an air bike is what's called an ergometer. An ergometer takes whatever you're putting into it and feeds it back to you. So if you're going hard on it, it's gonna go hard on you. And if you're going easy on it, it's gonna go easy on you. The other benefit to that sort of thing is that all different levels of athletes, from again, my 8-year-old daughter to a legitimate Olympic athlete, can get an amazing workout. So one of the sprint workouts that I do is a Tabata workout. For a Tabata, you're doing 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest. So I'm gonna do one for you real fast here. All right, 25 calories in my first sprint. A little bit out of breath, but that was fun. So if I was doing a true Tabata, boom, I'd be back on it. And I'd just be watching that monitor and going 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. If you're curious, you can look up Tabata protocol and Google. Typically, people do. Nico, who's manning the camera, just asked me if I wanted to catch my breath, and I said, no, we're going now. Typically for a Tabata, people do 8 reps, which is 4 minutes. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, you might say 4 minutes of work, that's nothing. Well, I urge you to try it because you just saw 20 seconds and I'm, trying to catch my breath here. So first way I use it is for active recovery. Second way I use it is for sprint work. Third way I use it is for distance or time. And when I'm going for distance or time, I'm definitely not sprinting, but I typically try to maintain a certain RPM. And I'm personally pretty partial to RPM ranges of 55 to 60 if I'm going for like 20 minutes or longer, or 60 to 65 if I'm going for, let's say, sub 20 minutes. As I mentioned before, I really love the bike. This works in some resistance and also gives me a little bit of upper body motion when I'm doing that. So at Fringe, we always try to design and give you a lot of value for your money. So not only do you get the main bike, you get this removable windscreen. Now I'm here in Austin, Texas. The wind is not really a big issue here, but if you're in a colder climate and you're doing this during the winter, believe me, you're gonna love this removable wind guard. We're also throwing in a free water bottle holder. And as we mentioned before, those thick, knobby tires come standard with every bike. So this has been Peter from Fringe Sport, and I'm talking to you about our Raptor bike. Of course, you can find it only at www.fringesport.com. If you like what you see, come visit us there and take one home for your garage. Lift heavy, lift happy.